I am Muslim. Most people don't expect that, but I am. How did this happen? Because I wasn't always Muslim. I used to be a Christian. And I was having some very deep religious conversations with someone really important in my life. And they were asking me a lot of questions about Christianity, about the Bible, about the Trinity, that I didn't have answers to. And I've been a Christian my whole life. And my answer for everything was, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I got really uncomfortable. And they said to me, why don't you know? Why don't you know what you believe in? And I took that to heart. And then they said, I encourage you to find your truth. Whatever that truth is, you need to know what you believe in. And this person is amazing. This person is Muslim, and he's amazing. He is my husband. And I just always thought that we would have a mixed marriage. You know, I'd be Christian, he'd be Muslim, and we'd be fine. You know, no big deal. But he's an extraordinary person, and he lives his life by a rule of love and discipline and honor and respect and things that I'm not used to seeing. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen them in anyone. And he's very strong in his faith, and he knows what he believes. There's no question. He can answer any question that I have about the Bible, any question I have about Jesus, any question about the Quran, any question about Islam. He knows. He absolutely knows. Because Islam is a religion of intention, of scholarly knowledge, of dedication, of prayer, of love to Allah. It is such a wonderful, loving religion, something that I don't think I expected. And the way that Muslim men treat their women is hands down the best I've ever been treated in my life. In my life. And so I started researching Islam on my own. And what did that look like? Well, so I'm wondering, like, is he just like super amazing, or is this like a thing with Muslims? Is this how they are? And because his whole family is like this. And so I started reaching out and exploring on my own, and started reaching out to some other sisters in my area, and said, you know, hey, I'd like to meet you. I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to learn more about what you know, what you believe. And I did. And they were just as amazing as he is. And they are strong in their faith. They never once tried to get me to come over to their side, because that's not what Muslims do. Muslims love all religions. They respect all people. They love all people. It is not the place of a Muslim to judge. That is only for Allah. God alone can judge us, nobody else. Which is very different, again, from what I've seen in American television. And so, after exploring, I started reading the Quran, and it's so very simple and easy to understand, and it has a lot of truth in there that became very black and white to me when, for myself, I found that the Bible had a lot of gray. And it gave me great peace and great comfort. And what led me to take my Shahada was absolutely beautiful. I decided that I wanted to know more, and one of my girlfriends said, you know, well, do you believe that there's only one God? And I said, I do. Yes, I always have. And the truth is, I absolutely believe in Jesus, but I've never prayed to Jesus. I pray to God. I've always prayed to God. That's who I pray to. That's who I believe in. That's who I believe is my Lord, is God. And so my friend said, do you believe in one God? You know, there's one God. And I said, I do. And she said, do you believe that Muhammad is the prophet? And he's like the last prophet that has been said, you know, sent from God. And I do believe that. And I said, yes, I do. And she said, girl, you're there. Like, you know, that's pretty much it. You're Muslim. And I was like, really? And so I contacted my husband, and I said, I think I want to take my Shahada, which is when you decide to become a Muslim. And it's something that you say out loud, you declare out loud. And I came home and we did our shahada. I did my shahada. He did it with me, or he was there for me. And what I have found is that my life is simpler, kinder. I know what I believe in. I know what I stand for. And I know that my prayers are structured differently, that they are filled with love. I'm learning so much, and I've only just begun. This is an incredible journey that I'm on. Which brings me to the next thing, which my Muslim husband said, everybody's going to think that this is because of me. And I am here to tell you, if you are a friend of mine, this is not because of him. He definitely opened a door that made me want to know more, but this is not. I didn't do this for him. I would do this if I didn't have him. And now let's talk about hijab, because hijab is absolutely a hot topic for so many people. And I'm not wearing mine right now, but I do wear my hijab. And a lot of people I've not experienced this, but a lot of people I've heard say, that Muslim women are oppressed and that their men make them wear hijab. This is false. This is flat out false. No, the hijab is something that Muslim women do to honor God and to dress modestly, because it is the more correct form. I don't have any business personally. I can't speak for everybody, because not everybody will wear hijab, and that's fine. You don't have to. But for myself, I want to be more modest. My body and my beauty is for my husband and for God. And I don't need to be out there flaunting things that don't need to be flaunted, because you know what? Nothing good is going to come of it. Not for the people looking at me, and not for me myself. So I dress more modestly now. I usually wear like linen shirts and pants. I do wear sandals. I wear, hijab a lot. Not every single day, but yeah, I wear hijab a lot. And it makes me feel more beautiful. It makes me feel protected. It makes me feel closer to God. And, I was so worried about wearing it. I was really worried about wearing it. Worried about, the kickback, what kind of response I would get for wearing it. But the truth is, no one has said a thing. No one. Except, mashallah, which means, wow, you look beautiful. Or congratulations. Because they know that I'm Muslim. And I'm proud. I'm proud to be a Muslimah. I really am. And if you're thinking of starting to wear hijab, I can tell you this. The fear, the big fear that you have is most likely bigger in your head than it is on the outside, because I can tell you that very few people have even noticed that I'm any different. Obviously, my close friends are like, what is going on? And that's legit. But people that don't know me, if anything, I get more respect. I definitely get more respect from men. Definitely get more respect from men. And women smile, and they're kind, and they're loving, and I'm more loving, and I'm a lot closer to God. And as far as praying 5 times a day, which is one of the pillars of Islam, you pray 5 times a day because you want to stay close to God, to your Creator. And that is absolutely okay in my book. So if you're new, if you're a revert, if you're thinking about it, if you're curious, find your truth. Find out, know what you believe in, and stand for it. And be proud, whatever that faith is.